just at the mall. And what I would like to say about shopping this holiday season, I'm going to appeal to you as a recipient based on my experience at a mall, a few weeks before, like the last shopping weekend. Ask for an e-gift card. That is the greatest thing that you will be able to do for people that you care about that will be shopping for you. If you don't care for them, like if you know someone's going to buy you something and you're not a fan of them, find something obscure in a mall, sure. But if you love them, e-gift card. Starting off the Geek gift list guide thing for 2019 with a little bit of a bummer. Anybody who has watched The Mandalorian knows what I'm going to talk about. Oh, Baby Yoda. I know, and don't get me wrong, I've had such a great time watching people melt down online. Not about the missed opportunity, we'll get to that, but about the fact that people are calling him Baby Yoda because he's 50, so he's not a baby, or his name isn't Yoda because Yoda dead. We all know this, you know, or the race of whatever he isn't a Yoda. We get it, but just the point is, look at him. Oh, like, how could you not? How could you not want? There are some pre-orders out there, which is great and all, but like, I don't really think that many are going to want a pre-order for Christmas. Perhaps they will, and good for you if you have one of them on your list. But there is a reason, actually, that this didn't happen. Because, I mean, if you go and you look at, like, the pop figures and stuff, for example, you know, you're going to find the other guys. So there's a reason, though. Like, I was digging through, I think it was an Entertainment Weekly article. And I've got it here, actually. Jon Favreau, Entertainment Tonight, actually. And he said the way the cat usually gets out of the bag with that stuff, as far as keeping Baby Yoda a secret, is merchandising and toy catalogs and things like that. So it was deliberate, and it was the filmmakers, because they didn't want spoilers that end of that first episode. And, you know, honestly, that's a gift already. We got a gift of something not being spoiled. You know, like, would you have wanted to know at the end? I mean, when he pulls down the little thing and then you get the little, you're like, oh my gosh, and it's just unfairly cute. I'm glad. Honestly, the fact that they were able to convince, you know, Disney to be like, hey, let's not make money on this Christmas, this like total given. Yeah, that's pretty great. Pretty great. But still, just unfairly cute. Moving on from the bummer. I am actually going to start with books. I know that you're here on YouTube, and maybe books is the last thing that you want to be hearing about, but tough. If you know me and you know what I'm a fan of. Oh yeah, by the way, I've got a Yule log if you want some. Just let it, yeah, okay. You know that I'm going to bring up Leviathan Wakes, and that is the first book, if you don't know already, in a big long series. So there's already 8 books out, I believe. So there's a lot of reading to do. And there's also a television program called The Expanse that it's based on, and they're launching into the 4th season soon. I started with the books. Leviathan Wakes is just phenomenal. So start there, and you're gifting someone with a lot of stuff to read, and then watch if they want to. If they don't want to, that's fine. So next up on the good old book list, as far as gifts are concerned, I know earlier I kind of crapped on the idea of a pre-order for a gift, but honestly, that's just, I mean, Disney they don't need the money right now. They don't need any help building their brand, that kind of thing. So, can hold off if you want on that. But when it comes to unique, new, original artwork and stories, that kind of thing, pre-orders are a great idea to let the powers that be know that we want this type of thing. And that being said, the next idea that I have as far as gifts are concerned is a pre-order, and it is an upcoming graphic novel called Primer. It was written by Thomas Krajewski, I hope I'm getting that right, and Jennifer Murrow, and the artwork is by Gretel Lusky. If I have the names wrong, I apologize. So the premise of this story is there's this girl who is an artist. She comes across some paints that she assumed, because she's an artist, were left as a gift for her. And it turns out that wasn't the case. They were actually designed by a person for, I think, a military contract. And when they're applied to the body, they give that person special abilities. So if you know anybody that's into the graphic novels, beautiful artwork, and well-written stories, Jennifer Murrow, she is actually one of the writers on this. She actually wrote the Star Wars Forces of Destiny shorts. If you're not familiar with those, go check them out. They were fantastic, so I look forward to seeing, what she does in this story. And send a message to DC, hey, we want more stories like this, and, go ahead and make the movie already. Moving on to games. There is a board game that I played recently when I went and visited my homies in Fargo. Jumanji. I don't know if it's like a new version of the same game that's been around for a long time or whatever. All I know is I really enjoyed it. It stressed me out right before someone was going to roll the dice for the first time. Honestly, it was just a little bit anxious. Thanks to that film and the follow-up film, which is pretty good. The redo, if you will. So definitely check that out. Another one that I've had some recent experience with. I thought I was going to be better at this game, considering the nature of what I do here. The fact that I go to friggin' Harry Potter land off in the Universal and whatnot, and do the Potterhead Running Club and all that kind of stuff, which is Harry Potter Trivial Pursuit. They have like a small version, but the big version is the one that they really did me in. I thought I knew, but I didn't. And I got worked over in that game by my sister-in-law and my nephew, really, and my brother. They obviously, with a 6-year-old, over the last few years, I've been watching the movies a ton, which I haven't really. I watch them here and there. The questions in the game are about the films, and they do get very, very obscure. Potions is one and potions and spells is the one that I'm terrible at. So if you do want a challenge, or you want to show off your unique skill of remembering just random stuff about those films, definitely check that out. And it's a nice one because it takes some time, but not too much time. It's not like Monopoly where you're like, you just want to turn the table over because it's taking so long. If you know any gamers, and by gamers I mean people who play video games, and you want to get them a gift and you don't know anything about gaming, ask them, obviously, but a good recommendation is just find out what platform they're using, Xbox, or if they're using mobile. I play Fortnite on my iPad, or if they're using Nintendo Switch, or if they're on a PS4, or if they're online, or whatever. Find out whatever platform that they're on, that they're using, and you can usually buy credits, like a gift card towards, like, here's $50 towards Xbox, whatever. That way they can apply it to their account and then apply it to whatever games that they want, including whatever ones that they play the most. Now, on to the idea of viewing things, watching things, going to the movies, streaming content. I know it's popular around the holidays to go to movies. Maybe you're buying tickets for someone to go to the movies. Please don't subject those of us who frequent, maybe not frequent, but go often enough throughout the year to have like pet peeves about going to the movies. Please don't subject us to movie theater rookies, like those that maybe go once every 2 years, that kind of thing. I know maybe it's on us to like not go around those times, to not subject ourselves to it. But if you can avoid it, maybe, a streaming service, or like rent a movie while you're there with them, something like that. Or just get them what you want and, I'll deal with it. I will tell them to turn their phone off, though. Another thing that I think most of us that have Disney Plus would recommend, Baby Yoda, would be a Disney Plus subscription. I'm just saying. I mean, if you can't gift it to them, just figure out a good family-only password and share it. Because there are so many cool things on that platform. The Imagineering weekly show is fantastic. The One Day at Disney, they did the whole long thing. It was like an hour, but now they're cutting that hour up into shorts. Hopefully we'll get more. That was fantastic. Obviously, all the Marvel, all the Star Wars, all the Pixar, everything. I mean, it's just, and obviously The Mandalorian. We all want to be able to talk about it and not worry about spoilers. So just gift it, or gift out your password, please, so that we can all just talk openly about the Baby Yoda, and maybe come up with a group drinking game where it's like, every time the Mandalorian walks into a bar, we would all be hammered like constantly. But I mean, on Fridays when it comes out. Next category. It's difficult because clothing, it's a hard thing to gift because of sizes, and you don't want to insult someone if you get one that's too big. And you're like, what do you mean? You think I'm in a large or extra large or whatever. Or if you get it too small and they try it on or whatever and it's awkward and you're like, well, it doesn't really fit, but cool. Hats maybe, but still, someone with a giant head like me, you're not going to find a hat that fits, honestly. My first recommendation is Stance. Stance does socks. They do other stuff too. I have a subscription to them every month. I think I pay $20 a month or something like that, and it's 2 pairs. They say, we're going to ship you this. If you want something different, you can change it. Obviously, I always change it to something Star Wars related, so I have like a ton of different Star Wars socks. You don't have to. They have running, they have, hiking, they have regular, they have dress, I mean, all that kind of stuff. So I definitely recommend that. They have, I think, Marvel stuff as well. So definitely worth checking out. The next one in the clothing category, fantastic, Her Universe. Her Universe was a clothing brand that was created by Ashley Eckstein. She is the actor who did the voice for Ahsoka Tano in both Clone Wars as well as Rebels, Star Wars Rebels. And it's awesome. You'll end up running into it at like some Disney parks. I remember being at Disney Hollywood Studios in Orlando, and I had just been talking about the brand with my goddaughter, and then we walk in and there's like a dress or two and like a little section in this shop there that had all of this stuff. And they have, dresses, they have shirts, they have, I think, purses, backpacks, I mean, everything that you would expect, scarves, and just such cool stuff. The last clothing recommendation that I have for gifts is a website called Heroes and Villains. I ran into them at Star Wars Celebration in Chicago back in April. I saw them actually before I went through like all of the vendors, because you guys really have to pre-plan for stuff like that so you can make sure you get what you want. And there was a jacket as well as a shirt that I wanted, and I ended up getting the jacket. I think the shirt might have sold out by the time I got to them. But anyways, they do just some cool stuff. They have different collections. Even like within Star Wars, there will be different collections. So I think they have an Endor one, which is the one that I got my jacket from. They have a bunch of other ones. They also do Batman. They do this one called Star Trek. I'm pretty sure Star Trek is like, if you're thinking toys, it would be like Star Trek is to Star Wars what GoBots were to Transformers, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if more people watched this, I'm sure I'd get some vitriol for that, but I don't think anyone's going to care. So the last thing that I'm going to talk about here, something very near and dear to my heart, running, and it is the gift of virtual races. If you don't already know, a virtual race is something that you just sign up for online, you pay the money, you run the distance, they send you the medal in the mail, which, it's on the honor system, obviously. They don't require you to be like, I logged this and this is my time and here's the proof or anything. So obviously maybe collectors out there are just like buying medals and not earning them. But for the runner, the geek runner in your family, there are a few recommendations. I'm going to start with Run Disney. Run Disney's great. Run a ton of their in-person races in Anaheim. Done the virtual races as well. They do 2 virtual races in each year. They do the Star Wars half marathon, the virtual half marathon, which I've done twice now. And they also do the summer series. And the summer series, you have 3 different 5Ks that you run in each summer month. And then if you sign up for all 3 at once, then you get a bonus 4th medal. Last year it was, last summer, however you want to call it, it was Marvel themed, which was so great. The medals were amazing. Before that, it was The Incredibles. So you get 3 medals and then you get a bonus if you've run all 3. And next year was pretty cool the way that they did it. They did a poll on Twitter. And so everybody that voted was voting between, I think it was Disney songs, something other that was kind of random, but what won was Disney park attractions, which, it's like, what is an attraction? What would constitute an attraction? It's not just a ride. We'll come back to this. Yeah, we'll come back to this. So stick around after the credits or whatever you want to call it. And bing, like the graphic at the end. Because I do want to get into this, but I don't want to, spin my wheels if you don't have an extra 5 minutes to listen to me think about what an attraction is. Because that could be, okay, moving on. The last thing that I want to recommend as far as virtual races is concerned, and this is going to close out this Geek Gift Guide for 2019, is Potterhead Runners. They do a ton of events throughout the year. They're usually $25, 5Ks, 10Ks. I think the half marathons might be a little bit more. Almost all of what you end up spending goes towards whatever charity is actually being supported, which is pretty great. So that you're basically donating to a charity. So if you have any runners in the family, Harry Potter nerds, definitely check out Potterhead Runners. Because and the community is really engaged online, which is fantastic. Their Facebook page or whatever group, if that's what you call it, really super supportive of each other. It's pretty great. Yeah, so I would definitely check that out. So that's it. 2019 Geek Gift Guide recommendations from this dude. Just don't go to the mall, man. It's tough. It's tough. Happy holidays. Let's get into this Disney park attraction. So they're going to be making medals, finisher medals, right? What is a Disney park attraction? Are they, because like I said, it's not just a ride, because I do believe that they would think that the castles would be a ride, right? Or an attraction, not a ride. I'm going to pull up the app. So if you have the Disney or Disney World Parks app, open that up and you can play along. This is crazy. Because the one that jumps out to me right now, where is it? Disneyland. I'll look at Disneyland because that's the OG. Don't argue. Disneyland. The one that jumps out to me is Epcot. So the ball. I know that someone out there is yelling at me the name of the ride. I've been on it. It is very cool and adorable and cute and inspiring. And then I've been around inside that silver ball, but I think that one jumps out. Castle would, but I don't know Disneyland if they would consider that as that an attraction. And you got to think of the design of the metal as well. So that ball would look cool artistically. So I'm going to lock that one in because it's an attraction, it's a ride, it's a thing, it's right there. It would look cool as a metal. So there's the one. So there's going to be 3. Okay. So if you open up the Disneyland app, okay, so there is a section called attractions. And I'm just going to look at so I'm zooming in on Castle. Of course, there's no wait time for Castle. It's there though. Sleeping Beauty, Castle Walkthrough. Obviously. But there are 2 castles. Well, there's a lot of castles. So then, like, if they went with that, if they went with Castle, which one? Because then you'd have people upset if it's one or the other. I'm going to rule that out on that alone because Epcot is unique. The ball thing. Okay. What's unique at Disneyland? Matterhorn. Okay. That's a contender. That's definitely a contender. And it would look cool on a metal. Pirates, sure, but they have one on either. They're similar enough, but what would that metal look like? Not the ride car thing, the boat. Okay, so I'm going to rule that out. What else? I'm going around the park in my head here. Big Thunder, but it's brown. Not a really dynamic, cool looking metal, unless they used like the dinosaur bones, but I don't remember if they had that also in Orlando, because I know the stories are different with each one of those things. Yeah, so brown, okay, no. Star Wars, they're not going to do that because they already have like the Star Wars whole weekend. They have the Star Wars virtual thing. Star Wars is out. And they're not going to do any of like the contained rides, like things where you go inside and it's Peter Pan, although people love that Peter Pan's flight thing. But it's also a movie. And so people will be like, am I running a Peter Pan movie virtual race or a ride? So no. It better not be Small World. It better not be Small World. Because that would make me so angry, I'm putting that one out of my head and pretending that doesn't exist, and it's not going to happen. Okay. Going around the park. Toontown, not going to happen. Tomorrowland, so we already skipped past the Matterhorn. We're in Tomorrowland. Space Mountain. Similar, but they have them all around the world as well. So which one would you go with? But still, the color palette, if you go with Epcot, Silver Ball, Matterhorn Mountain with the white and the gray, and then of course you're going to put some bobsleds in there. Maybe a guy climbing on it. Maybe on the back you see like the little basketball court they have inside, at least rumored. So white, gray, silver, white, gray, some color on it. For that reason, I don't know if they would still go with another white one with Space Mountain. Like at least the exterior. They can't do interior because it would just be dark. Okay, we're in Orlando now. Magic Kingdom, nothing unique. I would say Disney Hollywood Studios, no. Animal Kingdom. Oh, the tree. Okay. Pandora, no, just because IP. I don't think they're going to mess with that. Maybe they own it, maybe they don't, so I'm not going to... I mean, they own it enough to use it in the park, but I don't think they outrightly own that whole thing, so no. I'm going to go with Avatar. Dinosaur, not so much. Yeah, so tree. And what's the other park? So you got Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot. So we already covered Epcot. Yeah, I'm pretty secure in locking that in. I think Matterhorn, uniquely Disneyland. Epcot ball, silver, cool looking. And then for color palette, and also very unique too, one of a kind, very cool looking metal, the Tree of Life from Animal Kingdom in Orlando. That would be a dope finisher metal. So there it is. Those are the three. Epcot Ball, Matterhorn, Tree of Life. Boom. Go ahead and put in the comments what you think I might have missed. Yeah. Peace. That means bye. In like young people terms. Or very old if you're like in the 60s and stuff.